Hello and welcome. My name is Alan. I'm the Mind Alchemist. And today's video is all about raising the energy of the fuel that you put in your car. So before we start, let me explain something. I believe it was in 2020 where I did an experiment and I used the Raymon Grace protocol for raising the energy of water to raise the energy of petroleum or fuel that you put in your car. And I had done it for myself, but the results were just too good to believe that it was true. Maybe I did something wrong. So I posted the outcome on the Raymond Grace Facebook group, and I had about 160 responses saying that they got anywhere from 10% to 30% improvement. And I was quite surprised, but delighted with that. And since then, I never did anything more with it because one of the intentions I put at the end of my programming was that any fuel added to the one that was programmed would have the same characteristics, same properties, and same benefits. So if you were getting 30% more, you would add more gas, and that gas would have these same properties and still give you 30% more. And since I have a tendency to keep my cars for a longer period of time now, once I did it once to my car, I never had to do it again. But lately I've been thinking, how could I use this and help even more people? And I got the idea that maybe if I put the intention right into the fuel tanks under the gas station, so they have big, huge reservoirs. And once you charge or do the process on these reservoirs, every time they refill those reservoirs and 500, 5,000 people a week come through and get gas, each one of those will get much better gas mileage, much better um, energy out of their gas. So really the purpose of this video is to first tell you how to do this. And either I'm going to make this a really long video or I'm going to make it into two videos, one explaining the process and the second one I'll just demonstrate it. And you could probably, even if you have it on your phone and you play right off your phone in front of the gas station, you could get the same results without actually pulling out a pendulum and doing it yourself. So the first thing that we do when we measure energy, we would measure the energy of the project. So using a pendulum, I have on my chart, I use what I call the ideal energy. I ask for the pendulum to show me on a scale of 0 to 40 or 40,000 if you wish, what is the ideal uh, energy, and my pendulum will swing there. Then I check the current energy. Once that is done, we could start working. Once we have determined the energy, the ideal energy, it's sort of like to verify at the end whether it worked or it didn't. The second thing is I would check to see if the gas and the container has a spirit. Gas does have a spirit. I've checked it for you guys. And we want the spirit of gas, of the fuel, to be in there. We want it to be present. So if it's not, generally the reason is because the spirit of greed is in the container. So the first thing I do is I would say remove the spirit of greed from not only the container, but from the property, from the gas, and from the owners of the property of the gas station as well. Because if the greed is there, the energy will not, the spirit will not go into the gas. It will stay away and it will not work, basically. The second thing after we do that, we will check for negative influences such as entities, demonic forces, negative thought forms, spirits, curses, hexes, spells, that kind of thing. Because think about it. Every time the gas was taken out of the ground, it wasn't asked to come out of the ground. It was really pushed out of the ground. And whatever negative energy is in there, you want to neutralize or release it. So again, with a pendulum, during the demonstration, I will show you how I just ask for those things to be removed, neutralized, or transmuted, and we go from there. Now, we want to also check if there's spirits of any animals or people who drowned, got murdered, or um, somehow their spirits got stuck into the ground. Because don't forget, when you die, you go into the ground. And if you died a brutal death, as your body decomposes and over generations and centuries, it becomes fossil fuels. Yes, if you died a brutal death and that negative energy is still stuck there, we want to remove that. So we will check that and remove it as well, neutralize it, and release the spirit to allow it to go to the light. We then want to look at any kind of chemical, biological, or radiological influences into the petroleum that may cause or affect the outcome that we're seeking. Once we determine if there are any that are non-beneficial, even for humanity, as the fuels burn, we want them to be beneficial for us. So we will ask for those energies to be adjusted to the best and highest energy possible for the outcome, which is to get good mileage, but as well for humanity to be able to breathe fresh air, clean air, and so on. After doing all this, we will invite the spirit of the gas back into the gas, making sure that it accepts being there. And we thank it. We always thank spirits for participating with our projects. Lastly, we ask to raise the energy of the fuel to the best and most appropriate energy to give the desired outcome. I would not be specific as to I wanted to raise the energy of the fuel to be 50% more efficient. I would just say raise it to the best and most appropriate energy for the outcome of getting better gas mileage, saving money, and so on. The last thing that we do is when all this is done, we ask that any fuel that is added to this fuel will have the same properties and characteristics equal to or to exceed what we actually did. So at the end of the day, as you come back next week, you might get even better gas mileage because now you're filling with more fuel that's got an even uh, better energy. So that I think is it. We don't Yeah, I was saying we don't really have to do too much. I think that if I videotape this in a short 3 or 4 minute format, that's about as long as it takes. And all you have to do is stand and observe the gas station in front of you and just play the video with the intention that whatever I'm doing will go directly to that. If you want to do it yourself, I have told you how I'm doing it. So you could, whenever you want to try, you just go ahead and do it. Now, I also had another idea last night is I generally fill up at 2 or 3 different places in town. There's the Ultramar down the street, and just a little further is the Shell station. So I asked, could I do both of these at the same time? And I did get a yes. So I just went ahead and just did what I did. And I said, thank you. So you could do 2 or 3. Um, I don't know how it will work with a dozen or 2 dozen, but really what's important is that you could focus on where you're sending the information. So I could clearly see the 2 stations in my mind, one on this side and one a little further down the street. And when I asked the question, can I work on both of these at the same time? I got a definite yes. So there's no right or wrong with these processes. Do your best, but what's really important is that after you finish, you can measure what is the energy of this gas. Is it now at the ideal level, which on my chart is about 36, 37,000, or is it way below? And if it's not, you could start again or give me a call. Let's see what we could do to help you raise it. And that's about it. So my name is Alan. I'm the Mind Alchemist, and I really hope you enjoy this process. I think that by doing this, you are making the world a better place to live in, making it more affordable for many people, and making life a lot easier for those who had to fill up their cars to go to work or anywhere else. Okay, so I'll see you on my next video where I will demonstrate all this at the same time.